Speaking notes of the Honorable Kamla Persad Bissessar, SC, MP, political leader of the United National Congress, leader of the opposition, UNC campaign meeting at Las Lomas No. 2, Recreation Ground, Saturday the 19th of April, 2025. I never say anything to you that is pulled out of a hat by magic. When I speak to you, I talk about what you see, hear, and feel daily. I talk about what you know, what makes you happy, sad, or angry, events in your everyday life, and what you go through, because I care about what you care about. And that is because you have had leaders before me, you will have leaders after me, but you will never have a leader who loves you more than I do. Many of you have worked hard and studied hard to afford what you want. You are ambitious people. Your personal virtue or family virtue has always been to maximize your potential. You are very ambitious. You have always been. But you're fed up. Over the last 10 years, you have seen a barrage of bad government decisions that have eroded your quality of life. Do you feel more secure today than you were 10 years ago? Are your assets more secure today than they were 10 years ago? Answer honestly, and all of you will say a resounding no. I know you all constantly whisper about where the future of Trinidad and Tobago is heading, but one of my roles is to give a voice to your endless whispers. You do not feel safe, and you hate all these taxes and excuses for the taxes. The PNM does not have the right to ruin your ambition and cripple your standard of living. The country did not decline so steeply by magic. This is not some supernatural deterioration. The people in government whose hands have been on the steering wheel, like Vishnu Danpal and Colmimbert, have driven us over the precipice. For some of us, the car is still dangling on the edge. For some, it has fallen over. Either way, we are not safe. We are in danger. We are choosing between bullets and body bags. What's the choice there? This is our reality in our home. The government has been on a joyride for 10 years. They and their ETA food financiers have been eating, drinking, and making merry at your expense, pelting their rubbish into your yard, your homes, and your street. Every morning you see the rubbish piling up. Is it unreasonable to ask yourself, why am I paying property tax, online tax, income tax, VAT, road tax, and soon inheritance tax? Ask yourself, is it normal now for me to accept that any day, anywhere I could to be shot in my head, kidnapped, or raped? Are these unreasonable questions? Has anyone in government given you good answers to these questions? No, they have not. They've just continued to squeeze you more. There is something called learned helplessness in psychology. It's when you are faced with a constant barrage of terrible situations and conditions that you have tried to change but can't. You eventually give up trying, even when new opportunities will make change possible. So you learn to be helpless, even when simple changes could remove a massive block. What you should be aware of, and what is scary, is that some people in power can manipulate circumstances to force you to live as though you are helpless to change things. Whenever I say this, it touches people's nerves. They immediately know about this condition and can identify the PNM as its architects. Our country is in a mess. It needs to be fixed. These same people who have had their hands on the decision-making buttons for the last 10 years, which we all know they press by guess, cannot and will not fix anything. They couldn't do anything for you in 10 years, so don't give them more time. You are all smart people. You pay attention to the bogus reasons the government gives for their decision-making. And when you hear their bogus reasons about why they want you to pay property tax and why they can't stop you from being murdered or raped, as a reasonable person, you always say to yourself, why must you be punished for the PNM's incompetence? Why must you be making sacrifice after sacrifice and nothing is working? Why are you seeing no improvement for yourself when PNM financiers and fake elites are getting everything? Why can't workers get a raise in pay, but the PNM spent $530 billion? Procurement legislation. There is money to pay workers and finance people-centered policies, but this government prefers to give that money to its financiers. With the proper procurement legislation that the UNC passed, the country would have saved $5.2 billion a year that were wasted in corruption. That's $26 billion saved over 5 years and $52 billion over 10 years that could have gone to workers and citizens. That is where money can be found. Simple things like a vehicle inspection are a terror to go through. If you don't bribe them, they frustrate you. They make motorists line up all day and then fail their vehicles when they don't bribe them. Citizens and businesses are blackmailed at the government licensing offices for inspections, particularly for vehicles over 3 tons, which must go there for inspections. When UNC wins, I will let the many private vehicle inspection stations inspect all types of vehicles and make simple changes, such as changing the color or engine. The days of lining up at government inspection stations for some licensing officers to extort you will be over. Motorists will win when the UNC wins. The government is quick to say that anyone speaking up about their incompetence is trying to frighten you when we talk the truth. But tell me, are you not already frightened by the thousands of grotesque murders, rapes, and home invasions? Are you not already frightened by the high taxes and cost of living? Are you not already frightened for your children's and grandchildren's futures? Are you not already frightened of losing your pensions? What is also more frightening is that they are unmoved and uncaring about your fears and problems. That is what is truly frightening. Stuart Young claims to be the Prime Minister, so if he's in charge, he must see that crime and criminality, property tax, inheritance tax, online purchase tax, and higher utility rates are all greedily taking away your assets. These assets are yours. You are the rightful owner. And if he's in charge and seeing your assets being greedily taken away, what is he doing about it? What is he telling you? What satisfactory answers have you gotten? You have gotten no answers because he and his daddy's fake elite financiers are the greedy, invisible hand just grabbing what is yours. Everything you have been working for is being taken away from you. So where are you now? How much further ahead would you have been had your last 10 years been managed by a leader who loves and cares for you, a loving leader who prioritized ensuring you and your children prospered? Growth was the norm with the UNC. Would the economy have been better? Would you and others have had more confidence to invest if you saw safety and security all around? There is no way to sugarcoat these facts of criminality and losses under this PNM government. You must decide how much more of what is rightfully yours you want to lose to the PNM financiers. Young and his daddy are not interested in listening to you. They are interested in your vote, that's all. I'm sure you all have noticed their election ritual smears, insults, and excuses in full swing. The whole country is witnessing from the PNM this campaign, a cowardly retreat into the stale victimhood strategy, the blame game rhetoric, fake AI, and invocation of the tired and outdated race card. Polls. Tomorrow, Guardian Media will begin running its suppression polling, which I warned you about months ago. Those polls are not credible, no matter who they say is winning or which pseudo-intellectual name is on them. Don't get tied up with these media houses and their polls. The PNM bosses and some management who run these media houses manipulate these polls. Media houses charge the PNM less than the UNC for advertising. Unfortunately, some of the journalists and photographers we see daily face attacks, but they are just working and have nothing to do with what their management is doing behind the scenes to help the PNM. So give the regular reporters and photographers a break. We have been conducting independent polling weekly since last year, and polling is still ongoing. Ignore the fake polling and the pseudo-intellectuals behind it who are simply eating our food. Our polling clearly shows that the UNC will win the general elections. No PNM-financed pop-up party will affect this election. Nowhere has the PNM accounted for their failed promises and projects or confronted the problems of our citizens. The UNC has offered our anti-crime plans, economic transformation plans, healthcare plans, education plans, and revenue generation strategies, and the citizens will vote for these plans. So, if you want to be sane, ambitious, see real growth, and not be a victim of crime, decide now to vote for the UNC and stick with it. Nobody must get the joy of knowing they have manipulated you to be helpless. You are bright and can reason well. You know you have suffered endless losses to your security and assets. You must decide whether to grow your wealth, life, and welfare with the UNC or lose it all with Young. You must choose to change because you're seeing people being murdered inside our airports now. Imagine that. The government is unable to address the pressing issues affecting our country. Murders, home invasions, rapes, robberies, high food prices, unemployment, increasing costs of electricity and water, increasing phone charges, property tax, declining GDP, natural gas shortages, poor roads, flooding, non-existent healthcare, inflation, increasing debt levels, business closures, massive retrenchments, Balazier House corruption, and a crashing justice system. PNM speakers have not addressed these issues that are battering the population. PNM manifesto is just blah. Instead, the outgoing PNM government has once more been caught red-handed in its ongoing desperate mission to mamagoy and gaslight the population through its list of repeated broken promises in its 2025 election manifesto. Their manifesto document is merely another blueprint of the PNM's serial pattern of repeated and broken promises. It's the same blah 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 from the PNM. You know what their manifesto is, just blah. Over 90% of their listed summary initiatives are repeated and broken promises copied and pasted from their 2015 and 2020 election manifestos. Several of their 2025 manifesto initiatives contradict the failed policies they implemented during their disastrous decade-long tenure, reinforcing that they are blatantly deceiving the population. Several of these 2025 manifesto promises ignore the fact that the PNM reversed significant gains made by the former UNC government of 2010 to 2015 under my tenure as Prime Minister. A clear example of the PNM's age-old gaslighting technique. Their manifesto plan about pensions is a blatant lie, considering they have never publicly withdrawn the bill they laid in the last parliament with the stated purpose of cutting citizens' pensions. Some promises contradict the PNM's actions in the past 10 years. Some of the 2025 PNM manifesto promises are laughable, given the PNM's dismal track record in fighting crime. And most dangerously, some of the 2025 PNM manifesto promises are blatant untruths. The PNM has consistently failed to deliver on over 90% of its promises, despite spending over $500 billion in 10 years. The data shows 490 budget promises made in the past 10 years. The total number of broken budget promises over this period is 373, and the total number of repeated budget promises is 100. This latest PNM manifesto is nothing short of a desperate election gimmick cobbled together in a last-ditch attempt to prevent their massive election loss at the polls. And just in case some of you have any doubts, I ask you, 10 years and nothing. Where is the plywood factory? Where is the sandals? Where is the Toco Highway? Where is the not so insignificant sum of money from Bill Gates that the PNM said they were getting? Where are Dragon Gas, the Toco Port, and La Brea dry docks they promised? Where is Nequan? Where are the VATA refunds and workers' back pay? Where is the roadmap to recovery, where they outsmarted eat-a-food fake elites and pseudo-intellectuals? Why did the PNM sell out the country's future to financiers and special interests, resulting in about $134 billion in debt? When UNC wins. The UNC is offering plans and policies to put money in your pockets. When UNC wins, new media and social media content creators win. The rise of new media and social media has transformed the creative industries and digital media sector, offering unprecedented opportunities for individuals to monetize their creativity and upend traditional advertising. Content creators can now produce low-cost, high-efficiency content using accessible tools like smartphones and leverage platforms like YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and others to generate income. The advent of AI further enhances this potential, enabling creators to streamline production processes, improve content quality, and expand their reach. This industry allows individuals to work remotely, build audiences through followers, subscriptions, blogs, and podcasts, and earn revenue via advertising, brand partnerships, and affiliate marketing. Influencers have become key players in driving product, service, and messaging sales. We will establish clear guidelines for advertising transparency, for example, sponsored content disclosure, protect intellectual property rights for digital creators, create fair policies for legitimately recognizing earnings generated through online platforms under our financial rules, thus enabling access to banking services and government incentives. We will create a creative content development fund to provide loans for aspiring content creators to access equipment, training, and mentorship programs. We will partner with private sector companies to sponsor workshops on digital marketing strategies and AI integration in content creation, offer courses on new media and social media management, video production, graphic design, and AI tools, enhance affordable access to internet connectivity nationwide to ensure citizens can access online platforms efficiently, establish co-working spaces equipped with tools like cameras, editing software, and high-speed internet for content creators. When UNC wins, new media and social media content creators win. When UNC wins, cannabis agriculture wins. The UNC will implement a comprehensive framework to regulate large-scale cultivation, agro-processing, and export of cannabis, which are essential for unlocking this industry's full economic potential. The global cannabis market is projected to exceed USD $100 billion by 2030, with demand spanning medical marijuana, oils, and edibles. For Trinidad and Tobago, this represents an opportunity to position marijuana hemp as an agricultural product akin to sugarcane or cocoa, where small farmers can participate alongside larger entities in cultivation or agro-processing. This approach ensures inclusivity while leveraging Trinidad's agricultural expertise. The UNC recognizes that developing a regulated marijuana industry is an extension of agricultural policy aimed at economic diversification. This is not about encouraging recreational use, but creating an organized sector that benefits farmers, entrepreneurs, and investors while adhering to international laws. We will implement the Cannabis Control Authority Bill to establish a commercial cultivation, agro-processing, and export licensing framework. We will create guardrails to ensure compliance with international trade regulations and quality controls, particularly for medical marijuana exports. We will provide incentives and training programs for small farmers interested in cultivating commercial marijuana. We will facilitate cooperatives where small farmers can pool resources to access agro-processing facilities or sell crops to larger entities. We will ensure that marginalized communities disproportionately affected by past cannabis criminalization have access to licenses and opportunities within the industry. We will develop partnerships with regional CARICOM leaders to harmonize standards for medical marijuana exports. We will position Trinidad as a key supplier of pharmaceutical-grade cannabis products in developed markets. What is the source of all this PNM discomfort? What is the source of all their fear tactics, their heightened desperation, their heightened divisiveness? What is causing the PNM to panic? What is causing the PNM to attack public servants, social media persons, and everybody who is fed up with them? The PNM's worst nightmare in this election is that the people will get their fair share of Trinidad and Tobago's resources. The PNM's worst nightmare is that public servants will have more money in their pockets, the elderly will have a better standard of living, young people will have meaningful jobs, have more access to affordable homes, and citizens will have more access to foreign exchange. We are earning your vote. As we approach Election Day, we continue to be steadfast in our commitment to earning your vote. We have been consistently sharing our people-centered plans and policies with you and for you. We have been very strategic. Our platform has been one of truth and empowerment. We are not about the fate, wine, and mamagoy politics. We are the party in this election with a campaign of positivity. We will meet you where you are in national meetings in various constituencies, community meetings in your areas, and cottage meetings on your streets. We are also the only party in this election to take the time to sit and hear from you on important governance topics at our weekly town hall meetings, and we are present on all media platforms. This is because we want you to know that we understand how serious this election is and that we are not taking anything or anyone for granted. Yellow is the code, love is the code, and when UNC wins, everybody wins. There is a natural mystic flowing through the air, silent yet loud. You have toiled and labored so hard for this moment. One aim, one destiny, marching towards a victory for the people, and that is a victory for the UNC on April 28th. No weapon formed against us shall prosper. I feel your passion, and I share your values. I want your support and help to continue the work we need to do to improve your lives. With your help, we will build a better future and deliver the country you deserve. I am once more inviting you to take my hand and help me rebuild our nation into a land of prosperity, security, equality, peace, and happiness for all citizens. On April 28th, we will say no to this bully government. On April 28th, the sun will rise and shine its light on us all. Don't go to work on Election Day. Go to vote early, take your car and phone, and spend the day carrying our voters to the polling stations. This is your way to contribute. Everyone is asking how to help. Well, here's how you can help. Become our Election Day machinery on April 28th. Election Day is one day off from work for the next 5 years. You have had leaders before me. You will have leaders after me, but you will never have a leader who loves you more than I do. I love you and I always will.